Hi, good morning everyone. Thanks for joining Hindi University. Welcome to the new class. We have moved to a new location, so it still takes some time. By next week, hopefully, we'll be all adjusted and all. But I didn't want to delay the class, so thanks everyone again for joining. In this class, as you know, we've been talking about a very important topic in Hindi called oblique case. And this is, our third class specifically on the oblique cases. In the first class, we just defined the basic, Hindi oblique case, how it works for Hindi nouns, pronouns, and adjectives, right? As I mentioned several times before, Hindi is a highly inflected language. So whenever you're using any kind of postposition, right? Um, you know, uh, your noun changes, your pronoun changes, and your adjective changes to a different case. It's no longer a normal case. Okay. In the second class, we were looking into a little bit more deeper level in the pronoun, right? So in the second class, we looked at three different oblique postpositions such as ko, and then say, and then and then ke liye, right? We looked at three different post position, and whenever we were using a pronoun, and after pronoun, if there was like a post position, the pronoun was getting changed to a different form, right? In this class, we'll continue to look at the same topic, but we'll look at different post positions. Okay. And as always, feel free to ask any questions or write down your comments, and we'll cover it. Okay. So let's get started. So the first one I have, which we where we left last week was May, and most of you are already familiar with this postposition called May. May in. This is different than the other pronoun. Basically, it may sound similar, but this is May, which is your pronoun I. I. So this one is postposition, and this one is pronoun, right? Uh, so if you remember, we used to use may in the sense of like, uh, you can say in India, okay, in market, okay, um, you can say India may, market may. Similarly, in the game, or if you're watching some sport or something, you can say game may. Right, so these are just basic usage of like how to use uh, may, right, which means in. Okay, in the situation may, such and such, right? Now, what if like there are pronouns? How does it change? For example, uh, what if you use this may before the postposition, right? For example, it would be something like make a table, right? We'll have a, which is you. We have मैं, we have हम, okay, and then we have यह, वह, ये, and वे. I'll give you a quick refresher. Hopefully they are not too small. आप is you, right? And then when you're using this post position after that, the form of the pronoun changes, right? It will be आप में. It's not a one word, but you can, you'll see both of them. आप में, right? and then मैं plus मैं. Can you guess what will be the result of that? Like, how will you say मैं after मैं? मेरी? No. So if Mary would be if there is a मैं and after that the post position is ki, right? And if the post position is ka, it's mera, then Mary and mere. Try it. You remember ko? When we did ko, it was what? मैं plus ko is मुझको, right? And मैं plus मैं is very close. I think you already kind of, very very close. मैं plus को is मुझको. And similarly, मैं plus मैं is very good, right? मुझ में. It will be मुझ में, in me, right? If you want to say, I have a lot of confidence. Basically, you're saying in me, there's a lot of confidence, right? So you'll say मुझ में confidence है, right? For example, imagine yourself going to an interview, right? And the person is asking you, show me your, like, what's your strength, right? You can say मुझ में, in me, मुझ में patience है, मुझ में confidence है, मुझ में बहुत talent है, right? So those are kind of like, the sentences you can, come up with, right? So I hope that clarifies it, right? That's मुझ में. Then hum plus में is like, hum is we, right? When you say hum में, in us, same thing, hum में. This will be, this is we, this is in us. Okay. So now let's look at यह. यह is this. Okay. यह में, right? So if you want to say, in this class, right? If you simply want to say, this class, like this is the Hindi class. यह हिंदी की class है. Now you want to say in this class, right? It will be, in this class would be, I think if you just look at the older patterns, similarly, like for example, yeh plus ko, it should be very clear to you what will be the output of this one. Yeh plus mein is very good, right? So it will be yeh plus mein is isme, right? Or is in our sentence when you say, in this class, it will be is class mein. Okay, try it one more time. Yah is this, but in the oblique case, yah becomes is, right? Similarly, vah is that, right? But when you use oblique case mein, it will be usme, right? It will be us class mein, us game mein, us basketball tournament mein. So vah plus mein is usme. Okay. Now let's look at ye is these, and way is those, right? Similarly, in these games, if you want to use a post position in these games, in me, in me, in me, and then this will be unme. Okay. I'll write down all of them in Devanagari in just a minute, so that way you can practice it. But just look at it one more time, right? Aap plus me is aap में, in you, And the way you write it is, you have a, and then you have me. Aap mein. If you want to just write it as one word, aap mein, right? मैं plus मैं is मुझ में, in me, मुझ में. Okay, I'm going to erase it. Hum is we. Hum is we. So it will be hum में, in us. That's hum में. And then इसमें, in this game, or in this class, इस class में. And then उसमें is में. Okay. And then इनमें and उनमें. So you have इनमें and then उनमें. It is quite possible that they are written separately, such as in such a way that it is quite possible that once you have the oblique case, right, you can say हम में talent है, right? But if there is an object between hum and the oblique case, so this is मैं, and let's say in between there's an object called class, right? First you said this class, यह class है, and now you want to say in this class, right? You will say is, which is my this oblique case, in this is class में. Let me try to explain you again, so that way so you say, if there's an object between, like, so let's say the scenario is this is in the class, right? There is no postposition here, right? Simple. You will say यह हिंदी की class है. Simple as that, right? Now you want to say in this class there are, let's say you want to say there are 6 students, right? All of a sudden you have this, in English you have preposition, in this class, right? Now this is yeh, but in oblique case it will be is. We just learned it, right? It will be is. So your yeh become is when you have a postposition, right? If there was no object, it would be, you can simply say isme. So the same sentence you can say यह हिंदी की क्लास है, इसमें 6 students हैं. As simple as that. इसमें 6 students हैं. There are 6 students in this one. This is straightforward. However, let's say if you want to fit in the object here. So in this case, when you are saying these two sentences together, it implies that this isme refers to the class, right? However, if you want to make it very, very explicit, you can say is class में, and then the rest of the sentence will remain the same. इस class में 6 students हैं. Okay. इस theater में 500 audience हैं, right? So I hope this is clear to you, right? I mean, so let's look at couple of more interrogatives. Let me know if this is not clear. I'll be glad to give more examples, because there's no point rushing through it. Not everyone is on the same page, right? So let's look at, as I mentioned, your exercise here is like use all these skills right? So, use something like, mujhme patience hai. Even if you don't know the Hindi word for patience, you can say mujhme patience hai. Your job is to change the pronoun, and you can change the skills also, but keep practicing it, right? So that way, you can say unme uh, talent hai, they have talent. हम में, in us, हम में willpower hai, we have a willpower, right? So that will kind of like uh, make you more familiar with this particular, how to use uh, this post position and the pronoun in the oblique case. Okay, now let's look at the interrogatives, because we have not looked at the interrogatives, right? So let's say you have an interrogative called con, which is who, right? Con plus मैं would be, anyone? Take a guess. Very good, right? किस में किस में. So how all the talent shows are, right? Who's got the. So let's say your job is to write down or come up with a Hindi who's got talent. You know how these competitions are. Who's got talent or something like that. Your job is to you've been hired to come up with a Hindi television serial, something similar to Who's Got Talent in India. What kind of name would you propose? Who's Got Talent? Okay, very good. Anyone else? Okay, so as you guessed it right, this will be किसमें talent है. Or you can also say, so this is like clear, right? किसमें talent है. Or similarly you can say talent किसमें है. This is correct as well. Talent किसमें है. Good. I feel happy. That, So this is clear. Let's move on to the next section. Okay. The next one is the post position ka, ke, and ki, and then how these post position changes the form of pronoun, right? Again, it's ka, ke, and ki. By the way, there is a movie coming in Hindi, Ka and Ki. I don't know anything about the movie, but it probably refers to Ka as like ladka, and ladki. So it's like a boy and girl, right? Probably it's like the roles and responsibilities of a boy and girl. That's what I'm inferring from the from the name of the movie Ka and Ki. It's like a role reversal, right? I mean, as time is changing, probably the movie will talk about like he's doing. I mean, they have some conflicts probably, and then he's taking over some of the responsibilities, like cooking and all. And so we'll see. I'll be waiting for this movie to come as well. But it fits well, right? I mean, you learn about post positions at least with this name of the movie. Ka and Ki, right? So as always, like because there are three of them, I'm going to cover them together, and I'll probably not write all of them in one screen. Right? So we'll do up, मैं, uh, and then you have hum, right? And then you have ka, ke, and ki. right? So when you use aap and ka, it will be anyone? Aapka, very good, right? So it will be aapka. Do you want to give an example of aapka? Aapka naam, very good, aapka naam. Okay. Aapka bhai, your brother. That's also correct, right? Uh, why do you use aapka brother? So you said aapka brother, right? And you didn't say aapka sister. When you say aapka sister, this is incorrect. Why? You can write it down and then aapki sister, right? Why so? Okay, right, right. So basically, because this is the feminine one, right? I mean, aapki sister, aapki bike, you know, aapki university, all of them are like feminine. That's why you are using ki here, right? Very good, right? So that's like the basics of it, right? So aap plus ka is aapka. Um, I'm gonna switch it here, ki and then k. And then aap plus ki is aapki. As you mentioned, aapki sister, aapki bike, aapki university, all of them will be ki. And then aapke. Any example of aapke? Aapke brothers or aapke bhai. So basically, any masculine plural will be using aapke. Aapke parents, or if you want to really give respect to someone, you can use aapke as well. Right? So it will be aapke parents. If you just have like you're talking about one cloth is like aapka kapda. Kapda is cloth, and then if you're talking about many, it's like aapke kapde, right? Aapke pitaji, right? As you mentioned, because you are giving a respect, right? That's why you can use them as aapke pitaji. Okay. Now let's look at. So this is clear, right? Main plus ka, it would be mera. Main plus ki is meri. So you can say mera and then meri and then main plus k is mere. Right? You can simply say like mera bhai, which is brother, like my brother, meri sister, my sister, and then mere parents, my parents, or mere bhai behan, my brothers and sisters, or my siblings, right? um you don't say main bhai, right? Because you have something missing here. If I just say I brother, it won't make sense in English as well, right? You say my brother, right? And in Hindi it would be ma off, right? So in Hindi it would be ma plus ka, so it will be mera. Okay. Now let's look at this one. So hum plus ka is hamara, right? Such as hamara garden, like our garden. Hum plus ki hamari cat, right? हमारी cat, हमारी community, all of them are feminine, right? So that's हमारी. And then हम plus k is हमारे. हमारे. You can say हमारे ancestors, like our ancestors, or हमारे ideals, right? all of those are plural, right? Masculine plural. So that's why it's hum plus k is hamare. So I hope this is clear. Now I'll write them, like, I'll erase them, and I'm going to talk about just like the other pronouns such as yeh, this, that, and then these, those, like, ye and we. And I'm going to ask you how those change when you use these postpositions. Okay. So it will get a little bit interesting now. So those probably, most of these you probably were already familiar. So now let's look at yeh, which is this, and then vah, which is that, ye, which is these, uh, and then ve, which is those, right? So if you are really paying attention to the other pronoun we just did, and the postposition we just did, may, this should be very easy for you. So yah is this, and with ka it would be, anyone? Very good, right? So it will be iska, right? Similar to isme, there can be like a object in between, is class ka, right? Is bacche ka, right? So let's say, the boy is missing, right? And you want to say, what's the name of this boy? You can say, is bacche का नाम क्या है? What's the name of this boy? Right? इस बच्चे का, right? इस बच्चे का नाम क्या है? Right? इसका. Anything else that you can think of where you use इसका? Think of like a small sentence. Take your time, okay? No rush. Take your time and think. Uh, Very good. Okay, very good, right? So, what Janet has said is like, यह garden है. This is the garden, right? Now you want to say this garden is small, or you can say, is, sorry, this is, okay. So what Janet is saying, like, यह घर है, this is house. Now you want to say, in this, no, the garden of this house, right? So that would be is घर, his घर का garden, his घर का garden, or his घर का बगीचा, right? Right. Similarly, what Yon you wanted to say is like, this is pen. यह pen है. Now you want to say something about the pen, right? That this pen has a pointed needle, right? So you can say is pen ka, and then you can say needle bada hai, or something like that. Some property of that pen, right? Because that's when you will use ka, right? In a relationship, right? Like mera bhai, right? I mean, so I hope this is clear. And you also said like, is actor ka naam kya hai, which is correct, right? Is actor ka. Similarly, yeh plus ki is iski, right? You can say is घर की foundations, बहुत strong है, right? Because you're talking about foundation of a house, right? इस घर की foundations strong है, and then यह plus k is इसके. So, as I complete this matrix, your exercise would be to think about two examples of each and write them down, because that will give you a solid confidence, right? So two examples of each, write down the full sentences. If it is ever difficult, write down your first sentence starting with the pronoun. Then it will be easier, right? So think about like an object always, for example, वह, right? So I can say वह, um, anything, right? वह school है, that is a school, right? And then I can say in that school there are there are let's say 10 teachers in that school, right? It would be us. Sorry, in I mean I used in, right? So let me use something else because it will be us school mein, but I want to use ka, ke, or ki, right? Let's say your thing is like us, like the name of that school is Diamond Elementary, Diamond Elementary, right? उस स्कूल का नाम, and then you can use whatever, right? So see how easy it was, right? When I use वह, I can make a simple sentence, but I want to use का with that, right? वह बच्चा है, उस बच्चे का नाम something है, right? और उस बच्चे की height छोटी है, right? So relationship basically. Let's complete the rest of the, and you can get ahead of me by writing all of them. That's completely fine. So as I'm like writing it slowly, feel free to take the liberty and write them all down. So वह plus का is उसका, वह plus की is उसकी, and वह plus के is उसके, right? Similarly ये, which is these, what will be ये plus का? Very good, right? So it will be इनका, right? ये plus की is इनकी, ये plus k is इनके. You see a bunch of school kids, and you as a teacher, asking them where are their parents. इनके parents कहाँ हैं, right? So you'll say इनके parents, and इनके is referring to kids, parents of these kids, right? वे plus का is उनका, right? Similarly वे plus की is उनकी, and वे plus के is उनके. Good. I hope this is clear. Again, basically you make sure that you write two sentences for each of these. If you get stuck, I'll help out, but that will kind of force you to think about how to use these, pronouns with oblique cases. Okay. Let's look at the same thing, but in the context of interrogatives. So let's say in this case you have कौन here. कौन is who? right? So, कौन plus का is, try it. Very good, right? It will be किसका, right? किसका, यह फोन, यह फोन किसका है, फोन बिलोंग्स टू समवन, राइट? यह फोन किसका है, यह लैपटॉप किसका है, और यह um, let me think of like a feminine object, right? यह flute, let's say, किसकी है, right? So किसकी, and then किसके, so ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट किसके हैं, right? So that's how it will go with all the interrogatives, and you use ka and k and ki. Good. So I hope this is clear. Any questions on this one before we jump to the next post position and the pronoun? Are you feeling comfortable? Yes. um Not really. Tabla is like, masculine. Tabla is masculine. Sitar is also, masculine. Flute is feminine. You know, so it changes. Unfortunately, it can get a bit confusing, right? And as I mentioned in the past, you can always use this formula, right? I mean, kya, and then your object masculine hai, right? Or you can use this formula, kya feminine hai, right? Or you can say kya tabla feminine hai, nahi tabla masculine hai, right? So that way, at least you can ask this question in Hindi, and you can make your sentence accordingly. Okay, so let's look into the next one, which is pay or per. Per, both of them are same. You have pay and you have per, and this is again a post position on, right? On, in on the house, घर पर or घर पे, घर पे, right? Or you can say छत पे, which is roof. So roof पे, छत पे, right? To छत पे बंदर है. So there is a monkey on the roof, right? Since you guys are on mute, feel free to write them down, because I think you guys are saying something and I may be missing it, right? So feel free to write it down, right? Roof पे, छत पे, um, बंदर है, right? Feel free to write down the more usage of per, but I'll primarily go over the pronoun part and how to use pay with pronouns, right? Gar per, right? So you have first of all here per here, pay or per. On the top you have your pronouns here, so you have मैं, a, and you have hum, right? uh, मैं plus per would be, try it. I think you will be able to do it. मुझ पे और मुझ पर, very good. So it would be मुझ पे, मुझ पर, मुझ पर, right? So you can say, there's a lot of workload on me, right? On me, right? So मुझ पर workload है, मुझ पर बहुत workload है, right? You can say that. You can, or someone can say, उस पर, I mean, we'll do that, but मुझ पर debt है, you can say that. On me, right? मुझ पर responsibilities है, मुझ पर responsibilities है, right? On me, there's a lot of responsibilities. You can say that as well, right? Responsibility in Hindi is zimmedari, right? If you are just interested in knowing, zimmedari, or you can, to pronounce it better, you can say Jim, Jimmedari. All right, so let's move on. What's aap per? When you use aap with pay and per, it would be, aap pay or aap per. Same thing, right? And then hum plus per would be hum per or hum pe. Hum pe or hum per. There's a very famous song from the movie Devdas. Anyone remember? She uses hum and then she uses per or pe. Anyone? Anyone remembers Madhuri Dixit by any chance? Yon should know there's a big fan club of Madhuri Dixit in Peru. But anyway, the song is, you can Google it. She says, the movie is Devdas, right? I mean, and the song is Hum Per, basically, Hum Per Kisne Hara, Hara is green, Rang is color, Dala is like who poured the green color on us. Yeah, you watch it. I mean, it's a tragic love story, but it's been like, we've had several remakes of it, and I mean, it's still a debate. In the newer one, there's Shah Rukh Khan. In the older one, there's Dilip Kumar, and both have been like if you were to rank the top three, actors of the Indian cinema, it will be probably Dilip Kumar, Amitabh Bachchan, and Shah Rukh Khan. So they all have their own style, right? So, but definitely watch this song. In this case, because of hum and pe, and then hararang. Okay, so let me kind of lift it up. This is my fault probably, but basically this one you should be able to see it now. So it's like hum, which is we, and then pe is on. So it's in this case it's on us. Kisne, who poured the green color on us? Okay, so let me erase it. Now let's look at the other kind of like the pronouns, which is yeh, We still have here pay and per. यह and वह, and then ye and वे. So यह plus pay would be इस पे. Very good. और इस पर. Uh, Again, like I'll take a slight digression. Like Earth is also known as in Hindi is dharti. Dharti, right? So there are many songs, in again in Hindi where you say is dharti pe, on this planet or on this earth, right? I mean, you can pretty much, and then the song, if you just Google it, is dharti pe, maybe something will show up, and you'll see a lot of other songs in this context. Uh, right, and the sky is known as, like, amber, right? So and then you'll have us, amber, us is that, us amber pe, in that sky or on that sky, sorry. Right, so vah is that, and pe is us pe, and then or us par. Ye par, right? So it will be in par or in pe. All of a sudden, a lot of Bollywood songs are coming to my mind ever since I have given example of, of some song. Anyway, and then ve plus pe is un pe, or you can say un par, right? Because we have some more space, I can simply say, if you add one more con, and con plus pe is very good, right? Kiss pe or kiss par. Okay, kiss par. So I hope this is making sense. I'm not doing too many examples for each of them, but I hope it is getting clarified. Um, what I'll do, probably, we still have 11 or 10 more minutes, and I still have to do one more post position called ne, which is the most difficult one. Ne, right? Aapne, maine, humne. What I'm thinking is, like, maybe so ne is still pending. What we can do, we can do ne in the next class, along with some of the you can revise all the other post position and pronouns as well. So we can just have a quick, like, a working session, in which, as we have done before, I'll fill in the blank. Basically, I'll leave some of those, like, some of these things blank, and I'm going to ask you to fill them up, right? So that way we can test the abilities, right? uh, I'll not mute the session, so basically, in the sense, like, you can participate as I'm, like, leaving these things blank, so we can have a working session. And I think it'll be interesting, because that way, so far, all the post positions we have covered, like, ne, ne is remaining, but ka, ke, ki, me, me, pe, per, and then similarly ke liye, say, all of them will be kind of like clarified, right? So folks who are watching live on YouTube, I'm going to stop broadcasting. Feel free to join again next week. Thanks for your time, and I'll probably open it up for discussion.